Hello, it's my birthday today, so I'm going to read you a story which apparently has got a birthday in it. It's called The Tooth Ball, and it's by Philippa Pearce, and it's illustrated by Helen Ganly, which sounds a little bit like Manley, so must be good. Right, so I haven't read it before, as I say, so if I get it wrong, you'll have to bear with me. The Tooth Ball by Philippa Pearce, illustrated by Helen Ganly. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Timmy, who was very sad because he was too shy to make friends. His grandmother knew this, and she invited him to visit her on her birthday. She wrote to him,
"We'll make a birthday cake. You can blow out the candles and cut the first slice of cake and have my birthday wish for yourself."
"There," said Timmy's mother, "and you can go to Granny's by yourself on the bus. You're old enough." And his father said, "Don't forget to take your granny a birthday present." So Timmy bought her a box of her favourite chocolates. Each chocolate wrapped separately in gold foil. I actually got some chocolates wrapped separately in gold foil today for my birthday from my youngest daughter, actually. At his grandmother's they made cake and iced it and stuck candles on top and lit them. Timmy sang "Happy Birthday to You" and then blew the candles out. He began to cut the first slice of cake.
"Don't forget to wish,"
said his grandmother. "I don't believe in wishes," Timmy said.
"Then I'll wish something for you."
"What?"
"That's a secret, but something special."
So she wished as Timmy cut the cake, and they began eating. Presently, Timmy said, "Here's half an almond."
"We didn't put any almonds into the cake," said his grandmother.
It's not an almond," said Timmy, examining it. "It's a tooth. My tooth, that's been wobbling and wobbling. It's come out at last. Was that your special wish, Granny?" But his grandmother wouldn't say. She remarked,
"You could put that tooth under your pillow tonight, Timmy, and by morning the fairies may have left some money in its place."
"I don't believe in fairies," said Timmy.
"Very likely," said his grandmother. "But take care of that tooth anyway. You never know."
And she gave Timmy the gold foil from one of her birthday chocolates to wrap his tooth in.
"Go on wrapping that tooth," she said. "Wrap it up well."
Timmy went home with his gold tooth in his pocket, and he asked his mother for some silver kitchen foil to wrap it in. So now it was wrapped in a layer of gold and a layer of silver on top of that. The next day, Timmy took out his silver tooth, rather a big tooth by now, and wrapped it in a large green leaf from the garden. So now the tooth was a layer of gold, a layer of silver, and a layer of green. So the next day, he wrapped his tooth in some red paper, and now it wasn't really tooth-shaped anymore. It was kind of ball-shaped. But he had some red leftover paper from Christmas, so now the tooth was wrapped in layers of gold and silver and green and red, and the tooth ball was getting bigger and bigger, but oddly enough, it was not getting any heavier. Every day, Timmy added another layer of wrapping to his tooth ball. A layer of writing paper, of brown paper. He had some computer paper, and by now the tooth ball was bigger than a tennis ball, but much, much lighter. One day, Timmy was playing in the front garden with his tooth ball, and it sailed over the fence into the road. A boy was passing and caught it, and brought it back to Timmy. "It's a strange ball," said the boy. "It's a tooth ball," said Timmy, and explained all about it. The boy said, "My name's Jim, and I live in the next street. I've got an old grey sock at home which will go over your tooth ball if you'd like that." "My name's Timmy," said Timmy, "and I would." So together they went to Jim's house, where they found the old grey sock and wrapped the tooth ball in yet another layer. From now on, Timmy and Jim together added a new wrapping to the tooth ball every day. They wrapped it in kitchen paper and in newspaper. They wrapped it in wallpaper, they wrapped it in a duster and in cotton wool, in a tea towel, in an old woolly hat. They wrapped it in a tablecloth and a pillowcase and a sack, and it got bigger and bigger and lighter too. in a most surprising way, and they had to wrap it in garden netting so that Timmy could wind his fingers in it firmly to stop the toothball from floating away. Timmy and Jim took the toothball to the park with them, and they were playing with it when a breeze blew it high over a clump of bushes and out of sight. Timmy and Jim rushed round the bushes and came across a whole gang of children who'd been playing together. Now they were just standing and staring at the toothball, which sat on the ground in the middle of them, looking interesting.
"Whatever is it?"
asked a girl, and the boy said, "It's a huge raggedy balloon." "No," said Timmy, "it's a toothball," and he told them all about the layers of wrapping, and Jim helped him to remember them in the right order. They all began to play with the toothball, batting it to and fro with their hands, but by now the breeze had strengthened into a wind which caught the toothball and began to carry it up and away. "Oh!" shrieked Timmy, and he caught the toothball by a dangling end of the netting as it sailed past. But instead of Timmy pulling the toothball down to earth, the toothball lifted Timmy skyward. "Hold on to him, someone!" shouted Jim, and someone, a boy called Ginger, did. But the toothball was carrying both of them upwards, so a girl caught hold of Ginger's ankles. Still they went up, all three of them. Then a boy caught hold of the girl's feet, and in the nick of time. And then a girl caught hold of him, and then another boy, and lastly Jim. And the toothball carried them all up, up and away, a trail of children in the sky. They're very high, aren't they? They were blown on and on. At last the wind died, and they floated gently into a back garden that Timmy knew well. His grandmother came out of the house to greet them.
"Timmy, how nice that you've dropped in, and all your friends too. I'll get tea."
When she came back with the lemonade and the chocolate biscuits and the crisps, she found Timmy and all the others staring dolefully at the toothball. "It's gone dead," said Timmy. "Heavy."
"Oh, we must find out what's wrong," said Timmy's grandmother. "We'll have to unwrap it."
They took off the netting and the sack and the pillowcase and the tablecloth and the woolly hat and the tea towel and the duster and the cotton wool and the wallpaper and the newspaper and the kitchen paper and the grey sock and the computer paper and the brown paper and the writing paper and the red leaf paper and the green leaf and the silver foil, and they took it all off all the layers of wrapping until at the very centre of the ball they had the gold foil that Timmy had wrapped his tooth in, first of all. It's a lot of wrappings. Look at them all tearing it off. But the gold foil was just a little bit of wrapping. It was flat. There was no tooth inside anymore. "I was afraid of that," said Timmy's grandmother. "That tooth just wore itself out and went." "But a tooth doesn't do that," said Timmy.
"A magic tooth does," said his grandmother. "This proves it."
So after tea, Timmy and his friends had to go home in the ordinary way, on a bus. Timmy was never able to make another toothball, but he didn't mind too much. He had lots of friends instead. And that's the end of the story. There we go. What do you think his granny wished for? Perhaps for him to have friends. Well, it's my birthday, so I'm going to go and see if I can find some cake. Cheerio.